In all honesty, I'm not as much of a literature guy as I am other studies like history or language. But still, every once in a while, I'll come upon a really interesting find within a piece of literature that I can't help but to share. A little while ago, I was reading Paradise Lost by John Milton, and I noticed something interesting. Written during the height of the English Civil War, Paradise Lost is a story talking about God, humanity, and the nature of the world. It's all from the perspective of Satan, and we're seeing him in hell right after the fight against God. Right after the fall, Satan gets a bunch of the other demons that also fell, which I believe it says in the text was 1/3 of all of the angels in heaven, and they form a sort of council of the different demons. And John Milton invents a word to name this council. He calls it the Pandemonium. I read that and instantly had a revelation. While pandemonium in our modern context means something chaotic or uncontrollable, it meant a very different thing in its original meaning. We can break it down into its etymology. The prefixure pan is from Greek and it means all. And the last part, which is demonium, comes from also Greek, daimonion, which is a evil spirit, so to speak. The word daimonion had, by John Milton's time, evolved into the word demon we know today, or evil vexation from the underworld. Putting two and two together, it literally means all of the demons. What? So how did it go from a literal council of demons to abstract chaos? That's what truly fascinated me. Most people today will know the word pandemonium and its colloquial use, but most people probably don't know its origins at all. And I would argue in a lot of ways, its original meaning is completely lost. I've known the word pandemonium for a long time, and literally it was until I read that text that I realized it was talking about demons at all. But once you know it, it becomes excruciatingly obvious. Pandemonium, duh. In that scene with the Council of Demons, it was supposed to be the personification of everything evil. So it was really interesting that that word, which signified the personification of everything evil in its entirety, came to mean chaos. What does that say about human nature? Well, I reckon it has something to do with the human inclination towards order and symmetry. Our human brains function on logic to understand the world. We like things that are ordered because it makes sense in a more logical focus. It's easy for our brains to process. It's simple. It works. So naturally the opposite would be chaos. There is something innately human about the fear of total chaos. We can't predict it. We can't understand it. And so as humans, we don't have a leg up on the rest of society. We become animals. And what's even more interesting is that in almost all religious accounts, the universe was born of chaos. Just as scientifically we may say, we came and evolved from animals who, in their own right, were chaotic. It's anthropology as a whole, to go from a state of chaos to a state of order, and becoming more civilized in the process. To return to total chaos is such a great fear that we can't even put it into words. Except for maybe pandemonium. Just as all the colors of the rainbow merge to make white light, all of the demons unite to make chaos. There is chaos in the beginning, and there's chaos in the end. And we as humans are the order in between. And everything else is just pandemonium.